last day of exponent rules. And in your star, draw this symbol. It's a root. And you're going to write the word root out here. And you're going to put an X to a certain power. So in your star or somewhere on your paper, it may not fit in your star. You're going to write that. So in math, this symbol is called a root. And then if there's a number up there, that's called a power. Like we've been doing that. X to the second power. X to the third power. Okay? One other thing you have to learn today is sometimes instead of writing it like this, they're going to write it as a fraction. And they're going to put the power number on top and the root number on the bottom. And that will make sense when we actually do an example. But for now, just write that down. So sometimes they'll, instead of writing that root symbol, they'll write it as a fraction. And they'll put the power number on top and the root on the bottom. So power over root. The way I remember this is I think of God as a higher power. So the power goes up high. And then where do roots of a tree go? Below, right? They go below the ground. So the root goes below and the power goes on top. Okay? All right, so let's see what we got here. So on number 1, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this first part in your calculator. So kind of box that in on your paper. Box that part in. So just looking inside the box, are there any letters inside my box? No. So I can put that part in my calculator. So let me show you how to do that. This is new. You're going to have to hit the math button. All right, you're going to have to hit the math button. And you're going to have to go down to number 4. So there's the math button. Go down to number 4. See how it has a 3 on the outside? And see how on the paper it has a 3? All right, what do you think you're going to type inside? 125. And what does that give you? 5. So looking at my answer choices, which 2 can I mark out? Which 2 can I mark out? C and D. Okay, so when you type it in the calculator, you get 5. Now, they have gotten rid of the root symbol, and they've put these into fractions. What you have to decide is which number goes on top and which number goes on bottom. So, it's power over root. Power over root. So, if I look at this letter R, what is the power of R? 2. So, the 2 has to go on top. The power number goes on top. Which one of these has 2 on top? So that's automatically the answer. But let me keep talking for another minute. Does anybody know where this 3 came from on the bottom? The 3 on the outside, which is the root. So the root number goes on the bottom. Now for T, what was the power of T? 4. That's where the 4 came from. And the 3 was the root on the outside. Okay? Let's talk about S for a minute. What is the power of S? 3 divided by the root, which is 3. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. That's why S doesn't have anything, and so it would just have a 1. Okay? All right. Number 2, let's box in the 4th root of 16. Let's box that in. The 4th root of 16. Okay, in your calculator for this one, you have to hit math, and you have to go down to number 5. And it's been a while since I've done this, so hopefully I'll tell you the right order. Okay, what you have to do next is arrow over twice, and I think you can type in a 4. Well, it lets you yes. And then you have to arrow back over to the box and type in a 16. So arrow over. All right, press enter. What does it give you? 2. Does anybody need help with their calculator? Okay. So, what answer choice can I mark out? Well, B has a 2 in it. I know. I know it's not right, but be careful with that. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you want to make them into fractions. So I'll look at the X. What power does X have? It's to the third power. Power goes on top. So which one of these has 3 on top of the fraction for x? D. Okay? Where did the 4 come from on the bottom? The outside number. That's where they're getting that from. Okay? All right. Are there any questions on 1 and 2? Okay. All right. Number 3. Number 3. Let me have Haley. What do I do first on number 3? Box in the number part. Tamara, what do I do with this part? All right, do that for us, Tamara. Tell us what you get. Everybody do it too. I just want Tamara to say the answer. Everybody try it though. Shh. Okay, next we're going to write an x. That's what comes next. We're going to write an x, and we're going to make it a fraction. We're going to make it a fraction. Chad, what do you think goes on top of the fraction? What number? 10. Very good, Chad. It's the power. So we're doing power over root. Okay? Daniel, what is the root number? Very good. He got that from right here, guys. So the 3 goes on the bottom. Okay? All right, now we're going to drop down the y, and we're going to make it a fraction. Gracie, what number is going to go on top? What's the power of y? 3. Chad, what is the root of 3? I'm sorry, what's the root? 3. Guys, what's 3 divided by 3? 1. So that becomes a 1. Okay. All right, number 4. Monica, what do I do first? Good. Box in the numbers. Chuck, what do I do with this? All right, do that. Everybody else do it. I just want Chuck to tell me the answer. Two. Then I'm going to drop down the a and make it a fraction. Andrea, what number goes on top of the fraction? What's the power of a? 5. Camera, what is the root number that goes on the bottom? Look on the outside for the root. What number's on the outside? 5. This is the root number right there. That's the root. So that's going to be a 5. All right, then I'm going to drop down the b. Make that a fraction. Ethan H., what goes on top of the fraction for the b? Power goes on top. What's the power of b? 10. Good. Daniel, what's the root that goes on the bottom? Good. And then I'm going to do c. Yes. I'm going to get there in a minute. I was just skipping it for now. Jesse, what is the power of c that goes on top? Very good. Haley, what's the root? 5. Daniel, that's your last warning. You need to raise your hand, please. All right, so guys, right here, some of these simplify. Like on the test, it would be multiple choice. Instead of having 5 over 5, what is 5 divided by 5? 1. So they would have that instead. What's 10 divided by 5? 2. So they would have a 2 there. Okay, and 3 doesn't divide, so it would stay. All right. All right, any questions on those two? Okay, number 1 right here, we got to combine a couple rules. Is 1/2 a little number or big number? Little number. Is -4 a big number or a little number? Okay, so these are both little numbers. What's the only thing between them? A parenthesis. So what does that mean we do with 1/2 and -4? Times them. Very good. In your calculators, 1/2 times -4. 1/2 times -4. Anybody? What are we getting? Okay, so look. Write this on your paper, please. Everybody. I want you to write x. Everybody should be writing x. And what did we just get when we multiplied these two? What did we get? So write -2. Now, you will notice that is not an answer. That is not an answer because it's negative. What do you have to do when it's negative? Move it to the bottom. So I put a 1 underneath it, and then I move it to the bottom. So the answer is B. So this is where we're putting both things we've learned so far together. Okay? All right, so number 2. I've got 1/4, that's a little number, and negative 16, that's a little number. Zaria, what am I going to do with 1/4 and negative 16? Multiply. Anybody, what do you get when you multiply 1/4 and negative 16? So I'm all right. X to the negative 4. Monica, what do I have to do with x to the negative 4? So what answer is it going to be? B. Okay. Number 3, Andrea, what do I have to do with negative 1/3 and 9? What do I have to do with these two? Add them or multiply them? Because they just have a parenthesis. So I multiply two little numbers when there's just a parenthesis in between them. I multiply them. Jesse, what do you get when you multiply those? Okay. And Gracie, look at your answer choices and tell me what you think. Good, D. All right, even H, what am I doing with 25 and 1/5? Okay, so fix it. Fix it. Change it to this one. X to the 25 and 1/5. Change it. Do this one instead, Ethan. So what do I do on this one? Gracie, do that for us. 25 times 1/5. It's positive 5. Do I move that one to the bottom? No. What do I do when that's positive? Keep it like that. So look at your answer choices up here on the board. Which one is my answer? A. Okay. Just write A. Just write A on your paper. It's no big deal. I wanted to show you what happened if it was positive. Okay. Okay, number 1. Does this one match what y'all have on your paper? Okay. All right. Are there any letters, any variables in this problem? No. So what are we going to do? No. What are we going to do? So we're going to type it all in. So in my calculator, what do I type first in my calculator? Parentheses, good, because that's what they have. Parentheses. What comes next? 9. Caret key, good. 2. Now look, you have to hit this gray arrow. You have to hit this gray arrow to go back down and put a big parenthesis. So you might need to start over. You might need to clear yours out and start over. So I've got to do parentheses 9, caret key 2, and then I have to hit the over arrow, parentheses. What do you think I have to do after that? Caret key again, and then negative 1 divided by 4. You got to type it in exactly that way. All right? Is that my answer? No, so I have to do math, enter, enter, and it gives you 1/3. Be careful though, that was just a coincidence. All right, so that is C, 1/3, okay? All right, number 2. Haley, what am I going to do when I see this problem on my test? Very good. I'm going to put it in my calculator. Everybody should be typing in their calculator right now. Parentheses 4, caret key to the 3rd. Then I have to go back down, another parentheses. Go back, caret key again, negative 1 divided by 2. Chad, what else do I have to do on my calculator when I see this? Good.
It's saying 41464.
All right, sorry, what are you going to do when you see this on your test? Good, put it in your calculator. Chuck, what are you getting for number 3? 1,296? Anybody else get that? All right, good. Number 4, Daniel, what are you going to do when you see this one on your test? Because it's all numbers. Tamara, what are you getting for that one? Number 4. 1/5. Do y'all agree with that? Okay. All right. At the bottom of your paper, we have to do a few more. So write down this one right here. I know it looks weird, or you can do it on the side of your paper too. Turn it to the side. All right. So write down number 5, square root of 64. I got to show you how to put these in the calculator too. Because I was copying and pasting it from the internet because it's really hard to type. You can't type math in this type of file. Okay. I can put all of that in my calculator. Why? Why can I put it all in my calculator? It's all numbers. It's all numbers. It's when you see letters that you're going to not be able to use your calculator as much, okay? So here I can use my calculator. So in my calculator, what do I do when there's no number out here? How do I do that symbol? Very good. Everybody do this with me. You hit the second. This is what we've done before for distance formula. And then the square root button. All right, just the plain old square root one. We've done that before. What am I typing in the box? 64. Now you've got to hit the over key to get rid of it, to get out of the box. What am I hitting next? Minus a subtraction. Now this one has a 3 on the outside. How do I get that to come up? Math. And down to number 4. And what am I typing in that box? 8. And press enter. What do you get? 6. Okay. All right, number 6. Can I put all that in my calculator? Yes, why? It's all numbers. Okay, so there's no number on the outside, so that's when I just do second square root, parentheses 3. Remember, you're doing it exactly like they have it. Parentheses, caret to the 4th. And then you can just hit enter at the end. And so are y'all getting 9? Okay. All right, I'm going to type number 7 in my calculator. So I'm going to hit math. Come down to number 4, enter. What am I typing in the box? Parentheses, -8, exactly like they have, parentheses. How do I get out of the, hit the over arrow, then hit minus, and then math again, and then 27. Anybody get that before I did? -5? Good. And the last one. How do I get the 4 on the outside? Math. Go down to the 5th one. And then you've got to go over twice. And type in a 4. And then a 16. Daniel, have you already typed this one in? Okay. Plus. Okay. All right. Oreos.